Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're going to talk about the Christos energy today, partly because it's a phrase that we keep using, and yeah, it's worth understanding what we mean by it, just in case, because the using of the word Christos, so many people immediately think of Jesus Christ, and actually, it's way more than that. Yes, he held the Christos energy within him, but he's just he's really he came as an example to show us what we could be. And the Christos energy we can call it the 12D frequency, we can call it source current, we can call it, all sorts of things, but it really is this very high frequency energy that we are designed to hold. Our blueprint, when it is, healed and whole, a whole will run this high frequency of current through it. And it is source energy. It is our connection to source. It takes us out into the God worlds. It takes us into the source fields beyond this universe. It is our means of communication, if you will, and our means of eternal life. And because once we hold the current of the source energy within us, we are eternal. We become immortal, effectively. Our whole blueprint changes. The whole process of ascension is us moving back into our true blueprint, which is the 12D, being able to hold this 12D energy and move out of the fields of death, and move out of the fields of disease, and move out of the fields of destruction that we have been shoved into. So the more we build our connection with source, our inner connection to source, and the more we can hold ever higher frequencies. And we talked in our previous video about the higher heart and how opening the higher heart begins to allow these channel these frequencies into our template. The more we move into good health, the more we move into longevity and things like that. So that's a side bonus. But yeah, I mean they're hugely expansive fields. Once we are beginning, I mean, I would never say that I'm immersed in those fields, but I'm certainly touching into them at times, and they are beautiful beyond expression, and they bring understanding of things you just can't even put into words at the moment. We just don't have the language for it. So it's a very rewarding experience to start to take yourself into these frequencies. I think Felix is going to talk to you a little bit more about exactly what they are and things like that. So yeah, but I'm getting a bit ecstatic here, so I'll hand you over.
Okay. Yeah. So the liquid light fields have been really active over the past month or so. And the liquid light field it's the very first stage of matter. Well, it's actually a pre-matter. So it's like a hydroplasmic pre-matter to the light body. So it holds the very initial phase of creation within as a form. So on a side note, we're also at the very last phase of the alchemical cycle of the solar imprint. So this is the ascension part of the cycle within Pisces. Now, note today's Wednesday, the 16th of April. That changes as we go through the resurrection day. As we hit into Easter Sunday, by Easter Monday on the 19th, or whenever that is, by Easter Monday, we move into that new cycle of Aries. So we start the whole process again. Now, through that whole process, we're going through a rehabilitation of the light body. We're going through a deep purge, and we're going through a very strong heating up to move a lot of the energy blockages out that we're going to be dealing with this year to come, basically, or this solar zodiac cycle to come. Now, the interesting part about this is as we finish up a level or area of the previous solar alchemy, like the ascension of the light body, we've then been gifted the liquid light plasma to refill the areas that have been corrupted, distorted, or damaged that are still holding on to a negative emotional charge in order to kind of phase it out rapidly to rapidly upgrade the light body. So when we're talking about the Christos energies, the pure potential of the eternal light body, we're in that last phase, which is just registering the completion for anywhere that we have not received something to rehabilitate or to balance or to kind of correct the polarity of it. We've then gone through that phasing of completion within that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's one part of the Christos energy. Now, when we're looking at this liquid light plasma of the divine blueprint coming into form, the way that I kind of see this when I'm following on from this topic really is almost like a liquid resin. It's actually a liquid crystal resin that kind of rebuilds the structure, it rebuilds the geometric counterpart. So anywhere that has been kind of dealt with, it stabilizes in order for us to move into that next cycle. And as we've kind of achieved the foundations of it, we're then able to increase or incrementally build the light in those within those structures and within the structure of your light body, which then accelerates the propulsion of you anchoring the Christos divine light intelligence into your own field, which then runs through the circulatory system, the chakra complexes, the belief systems. It goes through every stage in order for it to kind of change, upfold into its truth.
Yeah.
So what we can kind of see within this is number one, an evolutionary energy. Number two, it is a restoring back to its original form, which runs in tandem with the 12D blueprint, because when we are healing ourselves, we are always going back to correct the channels back to the original divine blueprint from where they'd been diverted or separated and pulled into kind of fear matrices or fallen phantom matrices, etc. These kinds of things, or even hybrid genetics,
Mm.
hybrid genetic lines. When we start to dissolve the contracts held within those hybrid genetics, we've got a set of off-frayed nerves and channels that are pulsing, trying to connect to something. And when there's nothing to connect to, it feels like we've got little electrical electrocution things running through the body. It doesn't feel nice. So we redirect them and connect them back into the divine blueprint in order to re-engage the life force back into the structure. And this starts to repattern the beliefs, repattern the thought processes behind it, and redirect where it might be going off into a kind of divergent, distorted tangent. We can now bring it back to center to allow the alignment of Christ intelligence to move through your system once again. And what this ultimately, what this does, sorry, I'll stop in a minute. It recirculates all of the light through the body, and this brings the essence back into your form, which then allows the etherization of the blood to recirculate and repopulate throughout your whole physical form, and that illuminates the blood system, goes into all areas of your body basically, and that changes the molecular geometric structure, DNA, RNA, mitochondria, in order to change the charge, creating the star fire. Sorry, I will get there. I've just got kind of stuff coming in and out at the same time. Changes the charge in the star fire to align and anchor that higher intelligence that provides the energy, the sustenance.
Yeah.
I'll stop now.
Oh no, I was just going to say that you know we you may hear this referred to as building the inner Christ or the inner Christos.
Mm.
And once that begins to build in us, all of the deceptions, all of the delusions, all of the lies, all of the machinations of the lower races, of the fallen races, effectively fall away. We cannot be deceived when we begin to hold this current, when we begin to develop the inner Christ within us. We see through it. We see through it
Mm.
because all of these other things are so dissonant with this energy that yeah, it's like the scales fall from our eyes and we see truth. We see nothing
Mm.
but truth
Mhm.
because we are truth. We are embodying that energy. We are becoming that energy.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know how else to say
Mm.
it. We are
No,
becoming
that's
that energy.
perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. So another thing that kind of happens through this process as well as we build the light and realign the circulatory system or the channels to allow this to come back through, it acts as a support system. So when we kind of go into dream time, we're able to stay more conscious in the dream time. This is actually called transfiguration, when we move our consciousness into an astral body whilst remaining conscious of the place you are physically. So this is a bilocation of consciousness at stage one of the
Mm,
liquid crystal light.
mm,
Your consciousness is able to kind of transport through the astral field, do what it needs to do, and you retain the memory of that. And the next phase that's kind of happening with me at the moment is the consciousness in waking state is able to bilocate.
mm,
And instead of projecting into something, it's like that field comes to me, as an example. And this is called translocational consciousness. So with the accretion of liquid crystal light, the accretion of the Christ current, and the embodiment of that, you're then able to be within that field or within that other realm simultaneously as it's holographically presenting around you, and you're able to do what you need to do within that space
mm,
to achieve your goals or understand what you're doing there. And then you take that back. The third stage, which I don't think anybody's done on this planet at the moment, apart from maybe like 4 or 5 people over a very long period of time,
mm.
is I forgot the name of it. Transmigration. Yeah, transmigration. Thank you. Um, the transmigration of consciousness is the dismantling of the attachment to the earth plane, in which the consciousness can leave in this body and go. So this is the ascension pathway. Consciousness in the body format changes its molecular structure and leaves the earth plane and becomes the cosmic citizen.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's all I've got to say.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
all pretty miraculous and amazing, but it's what's waiting for us, folks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that, give us a like and a subscribe. You can find our details down below. Loads of love.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.